Welcome to TechEd 2020. I hope you are safe wherever you are. My name is Rudolf Scheipers. I'm part of Partner Innovation Lifecycle Services at SAP and responsible for the Outsourcing Partner Certification. Today I have the pleasure to have Prashant and Partif, both from TCS, with me. So Prashant is the Global Head of SAP Practice and Partif is the Global Solutions Head of SAP Practice. So gentlemen, it's a pleasure to have you here in this session.
Thank you very much, Rudolf. Same here, and it's a pleasure to be here, and I hope everybody is keeping safe and sound. It is a pleasure for us to discuss our journey, our experience of going through the outsourcing certification, and we will share that experience today on this meeting.
Thank you, Rudolf. Thank you, Prashant. It is indeed a pleasure to be on this platform and share our experiences with all of you. I trust all of you are keeping safe. I will be talking about the journey that TCS took in the certification process along with SAP and our experiences.
Great, thank you. So what we will guide you through in the next couple of minutes is two parts mainly in that session. So first of all, I would like to give you an overview of the Partner Innovation Lifecycle Services organization, as well as deep dive a little bit into the outsourcing certification portfolio. And in the second part, I would like to have Prashant and Partif talking about their journey being a global partner in outsourcing certification, how they evolved over time and how they recently added the latest certifications to their portfolio. Let's start and give you a little insight of Partner Innovation Lifecycle Services in SAP. So we are a global team of experts which is available in 11 countries, and we are serving partners in a variety of activities. So let's briefly go through. We have, for example, rack services if you want to test and build your applications. We have build services available where you get expertise from technical specialists from SAP. We have a program in our organization which is co-innovated with SAP, where you really walk in with an idea and you walk out with a product. We have the software certification, which is a majority of the organization certifying third-party applications for the integration, for example, with the SAP platform, with applications or with SAP HANA. Then we cover IT operations, which we also deep dive today into, which is the outsourcing partner certification, followed by the hardware certification, which is also a dedicated team working with several partners here, as well as we have the premium qualification team, who is serving partners all across the globe. So let's have a little deep dive into the outsourcing partner certification portfolio. What could you expect from such a certification program? If we start from the bottom, I would say we mainly have divided our portfolio into two sections. The platform area covers mainly the technical certification. So that means if you see the bottom line, it's cloud and infrastructure, which mainly serves partners who are acting as an infrastructure provider, being able to have SAP systems up and running for their customers, as well as they have a cloud offering available, be it a sole cloud offering or be it a hybrid scenario with other providers. If you see the second level, we have hosting operations as well as SAP HANA operations. Both are targeting into the direction of SAP basis administration. Hosting could be more generic, so that means it could be ECC, it could be S/4HANA, it could be a variety of applications of the SAP product portfolio where a partner is doing SAP basis administration, whereas the SAP HANA operations is focusing explicitly on the operations capabilities of our partners to run HANA environments. That's the platform layer, let's call it like this. And if we look up, we see the application layer. In the application layer, we have mainly 3 boxes. So this was also kind of a journey within the program. So that means we started with SAP Business Suite. We, at a time, added SAP S/4HANA, Solution Operations. And we just recently, approximately about a year ago, we just added Solution Operations for SAP SuccessFactors as the latest certification in the application area. If we look right, we have 2 additional certifications available in the program. One is BPO operations. Business Process Outsourcing means we certify partners who have the capability to run an end-to-end process for their customer. And I would say a good example here is a payroll process, which you could imagine can be outsourced completely end-to-end. The second one is DevOps. So DevOps was also added recently, approximately about a year ago, to the certification portfolio. It mainly covers the DevOps methodology and partners who are developing cloud solutions, cloud extensions, and do follow a DevOps approach. And I will point to that later in the presentation as well, a little bit more in detail. So this would be the outsourcing partner certification portfolio. If we move along, there is also a differentiation from a geographical perspective in our certification program. The majority of our partners are local partners. So that means they are serving in a dedicated country, their customers. So that means the delivery organization is located in the country. For example, when we talk about cloud and infrastructure certification, the data center is in the country. So that's the local certification. What we have on the other side is the global certification. So we have more than 20 partners, it's 22 actually, global partners, which have run through a global certification process. So what does it mean? It means we audit and certify the partner in 3 regions, EMEA, Americas, and Asia Pacific. And we club together the 3 certification audits. We add some global information to that. And this results then in a global partner certification. And for example, when we hear later from TCS, TCS is one of our global partners in the program. To get you an idea on how many partners we are serving and how many certifications we are dealing with, let me just show you that world map. So as you can see, we are serving customers or partners all across the globe. So the program is available for more than 20 years now in SAP. It started all with hosting, and in the meantime, it has grown over the years. We are currently serving about 300 partners worldwide. And you see that the number of certification is significantly higher. Why is this the case? The reason for that is that a majority of our partners are certified in more than one certification from the beginning, or there is a journey, like we will also learn from TCS later on, that there is a journey to add over time other certifications, be it to serve specific customers, be it to react on a market demand. So this is something what we see very often, that we have a journey together with our partners. And I also want to say that we have a lot of partners which are very long already in the program, and very long really means like 10 plus years. So bottom line, that means with our 300 partners, we are currently managing about 850 certifications. A question which might come up is how such a certification is working. What does it mean to be certified? How much time do I need to invest, etc.? These are questions which are very often coming at the early beginning. So let me quickly guide you through the process of the certification. It's important to say that it is a voluntary program. So that means partners are applying for it. So they get into a contract with us. They will receive a questionnaire which will be answered and will be then provided to the auditor. The auditor is at that point in time the main contact person for the partner, is helping upfront and is also reviewing the answers from the partner which has been given in the questionnaire. There is a review process before the audit, and in the meantime, the auditor is agreeing on an audit date with the partner. And as you can see in step 4, usually there is an on-site audit at the partner. So that means the auditor is traveling to the partner facility and is doing a physical audit. This again depends on the certification scope. So as you can imagine, for cloud and infrastructure, for example, there is also a data center visit, which is necessary to be covered. Currently, in the pandemic situation, we adjusted almost everything to remote. So that means the majority of our audits are happening remotely. It's working quite fine. We have developed some instruments so that we are able to do remote audits almost without any impact. And currently, this will also be the case then for the coming year. Now, what will happen after the audit, be it physically on site or remote? There are a couple of things happening. One is the partner is receiving certificates and other benefits, which I will point to in a minute. The second is that the auditor is providing an audit report. And the most valuable item, I would say, in the audit report is, on the one hand side, the partner is able to see the result of the audit, how everything was rated and where are improvement points. And on the other hand, there are recommendations given to the partner. These recommendations are based on the auditor's experience, the experience from our partners, as well as from the market. So that is something what the auditor is providing. And as I said, to the benefits, I will come in a minute. So this is describing the whole process of the certification audit, and it approximately takes about a quarter to go through the whole. So with that, I would also give a little insight into what are the requirements to be a certified outsourcing partner with SAP. We have mainly 2 layers. The bottom layer is what we have like underlying IT standards. So that means we are looking into ISO norms, we are looking into ITIL as a framework. And then we add on top what we call the SAP standards. So depending on the certification, we either look, for example, at the infrastructure layer, we look at how projects are managed. We look into like things like quality management, knowledge management, IT service management, how are professionals equipped with knowledge and certifications, how the administrators are working. The whole process is something what we are looking into. And for the application management area, you can imagine that we also look on how the whole process is executed at partner side to be able to certify the capabilities. So as I said, I would like to come back to the benefits of this certification. So there are multiple of them, I would say. First of all, the partner is receiving certificates for every certification which was successfully gone through the audit. It will be digital copies as well as hard copies. There will be the audit report, as I mentioned, containing the audit result as well as the recommendations from the auditor. Third, there is the logo or the logos, depending also on the scope of the certification, which are provided to the partners in combination with the SAP partner logo. And last but not least, the partner is listed in what we call the partner guide, which is a directory of all outsourcing partners at SAP, showing where they are located, where they are certified, and in which area they are certified, being on the platform level, application level, BPO, or DevOps, or a combination of them. There is one thing I want to highlight. There is currently a promotion ongoing for net new partners. So until end of March next year, there is an option to join our program by a reduced entry cost for the validity of 1 year. Usually the validity is 2 years from all what I explained so far. And in this special promotion, we have a 1 year validity at a reduced entry cost. If this would be interesting for you, I would be happy to receive an email, which will be shown then at the end of this presentation. Good. So before I would like to hand over to my guests from TCS, I would like to have 2 additional information on the latest certification which we added to our portfolio. One is SuccessFactors and one is DevOps. So let's start with SuccessFactors. And as you can see on this slide, there were many good reasons to add SuccessFactors to the certification portfolio. SuccessFactors, from a solution suite perspective, was ranked as a leader in IDC, in Gartner all the time. And we also wanted to put a focus in the certification program on an SAP cloud solution. So what you can see on the slide is the HR services segment of global cloud BPO. It was 12.4 billion in 2018, and it's expected to reach a 37.6 billion by 2025, which is just in 5 years. So there is a tremendous growth, which we would like to underline and take up with the certification, because we see a huge demand in the market. And also we saw already several partners joining that certification since it was just launched end of 2019. Second, just give you a little highlight into the DevOps certification. So the DevOps certification, as I mentioned, is based on the DevOps methodology. So that means in an audit, in a certification cycle, the capabilities of a partner building cloud solutions or cloud extensions and following the DevOps approach are taken into account. And the DevOps approach in this case is focusing on the main principles, which is flow, feedback, and continuous learning. And our auditors are able to demonstrate on the one hand side best practices, and on the one hand side prove that a partner is able to work according to these principles. With that, I would like to hand over to the second part of the session to Parthiv and Prashant from TCS to tell us about being a global outsourcing partner, about their journey, and about adding recently 2 certifications to their portfolio. So over to you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Rudolf. Thank you for taking us through a crisp narrative of the whole process of the outsourcing certification. We will talk a little bit about our experience. And at TCS, we provide application services to diverse customers having complex SAP environments, and very often with a global footprint. And we observed 4 key trends while working with these customers. The first one is the enterprise applications portfolio is getting increasingly complex. There are on-prem applications, there are applications hosted on the cloud, and there are SaaS products in the mix. And applications, services, and operations need to make sure that there is a consistent experience across all of these diverse set of applications. The second observation that we had was the global footprint. Companies consume applications 24/7 across a global footprint. And from there on, companies today are tightly interconnected in the ecosystems. So the information flows inside the enterprise and outside the enterprise depends on the stability of the application itself. And that is where value gets created across enterprises operating together in the ecosystem. The second aspect that we are then seeing is the emergence of predictive and preventive models for application operations. And this is predominantly cognitive solutions that are looking at past patterns, behaviors, interconnecting infrastructure and application failures, and attempting to resolve issues and incidents before they occur. And this is where TCS launched its machine first delivery model framework to look at a continuum of services, making users more self-reliant on their applications and cognitive solutions taking over and automating services and processes, and thereon starting to create business value. The third aspect that we are seeing as a major trend is continuous innovations. Enterprises are today providing continuous innovations, which means continuous releases to production. And when that starts to happen, DevOps starts to become increasingly important. And ability to manage a stable environment when continuous releases are happening in production becomes pertinent in the overall gamut of application services. The fourth and also the most important one is the user experience. While you have a stable operating environment, user productivity, user efficiency depends on a consistent experience users get across the stack of applications, be it on the cloud, deployed on-prem, and across geographic locations. So when you look at these four trends, and if you look at the narrative that Rudolf provided on the outsourcing certification, one thing comes to mind. Why do you need to go in for another certification when there are IT service management models, methods, and tools already in place? If you go back to our experience and the trends we spoke about, SAP technologies are continuously evolving, and we found that SAP is innovating with their tools and technologies to make sure that application operations are robust. The investments SAP is doing in solution manager and likewise tools helps us to ensure that the technology stack is adequately maintained throughout the application lifecycle management services. We needed to benchmark, and our view was to run benchmark services through this outsourcing partner certification, run an audit, validate our services to check if we are best in class and where we need to improve. And that was one of the main reasons for us to embark on this certification process. But the approach TCS took in this, and to what Rudolf mentioned earlier, if you remember the slide that spoke of the platform and the applications, we decided to go the whole stack. So we looked at application outsourcing certification as an end-to-end view, and got ourselves certified on infrastructure and cloud operations, on operations for S4HANA, on business suite, on cloud solutions like SuccessFactors, and most important, DevOps. That gives a complete assurance that the partner has capability not only to service applications, safeguard customer environments, but be in a position to provide continuous improvements to their enterprise customers. Lastly, the entire journey for us provided a competitive differentiation, a differentiation that we are best in class, our experience and the insights from SAP and the validation through the certification process puts us in the league of companies that are able to provide best in class services and take a futuristic view of solving customer problems. I would request Parthiv to come in and talk about our journey and the value that we got out of going through these certifications.
Thanks, Prashant. So we initiated our journey for the certification in 2017. We worked for 3 categories of certification for our SAP operations then: hosting, SAP HANA operations, and cloud operations. It was a whole good learning for TCS during this entire journey, the understanding of the end-to-end process as we prepared ourselves for the audit. We also made sure that we improved on our end-to-end capabilities to deliver a seamless experience to our customers in these areas as we prepared for the audit. When we moved to 2018, we aimed for a global coverage of our services, including Business Suite and S/4HANA. By 2020, as the existing certifications needed renewal, and by this time, the customers also looked at additional services which were upcoming, including DevOps that Prashant mentioned. Our certification included renewal of the 5 areas that we already had. And we added 2 more service areas to that: SuccessFactors, Solution Operations, and DevOps. As of today, we are amongst only 2 partners with this wide range of globally certified SAP service offerings. I'll talk a bit about our journey. With a large base of our customers operating across different continents and often being serviced from multiple TCS locations across the globe, a global network delivery model as we call it, we have always worked to provide uniform quality experience to our customers. Hence, we chose for global certifications for all the selected services that we aspire to get ourselves certified in. We covered our operations in the United States, France, Germany, and India operations based on the very specific specialized service areas at these delivery centers and in the respective countries. The audit process itself was very exhaustive and needed an extensive work and close coordination with the SAP audit team. We formed an empowered global core team, which was very critical, and we supplemented this team by a regional leadership team throughout the process. In the process, SAP shared questionnaire templates which were required to be filled for the global certification as well as for the local geographies. These consisted answers to about 300 very specific questions which covered TCS's practices in operations and delivery, our methodologies, tools, and very specific artifacts. We had to show the rationale for our processes, proof points where TCS's specific practices and tools helped our customers achieve superior benefits. We covered customer-specific project experiences and artifacts. Of course, with the approval from the customers to use these deliverables, they were sanitized to make sure that no confidential information of the customers was visible to anyone. The whole process involved a participation of our leadership team, both at an overall level as well as at a different delivery level from the locations. All the responses were thoroughly reviewed by a core team and by a nominated set of program managers for the validation. As next step, any queries that the audit team had were closed. In the final step, an in-person audit by SAP auditors was done. We covered our operations in US, as I said, France, Germany, and India. The in-person audit covered service area specific presentation, real-life project experiences, which were shared by the regional teams, in-person questions from the SAP audit team, which were again addressed by the respective and very specific customer project teams. It also involved validation and verification of TCS's rationale and proof points with showcase of artifacts and a deep dive verification by the auditors. We finally concluded this journey and made sure that not only we benchmarked our operations, but we deliver continuously best-in-class services for our customers. I will hand it back to Prashant to talk about how our customers have benefited from this journey.
Thank you, Parthiv. The most important aspect for customers is the value they get out of this process. It is about safeguarding applications. It is about safeguarding applications in a complex, heterogeneous environment. And certification reinforces the brand image. It improves customer confidence because through the rigorous certification process with SAP across various geographies and through selection of projects of varying degrees of complexities, the whole journey ensures that the partner has capability to safeguard applications, to help customers innovate and manage innovations through the DevOps framework. Certification also has helped us benchmark our capabilities, look at shortcomings, look at areas of improvements, and come into a best-in-class kind of a service model, not only for on-prem applications, for cloud applications, and also from an infrastructure perspective, to look at the whole service spectrum for application management from an end-to-end service. We gain greater access to larger bids through this certification process. Given that there is a extensive validation of our capabilities, benchmarking of our services, and certification by SAP, it gives us a larger access to markets, larger access to competitive situations, and in the end, it is a win-win for TCS and for our customers on the back of stable services on the SAP landscape. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Patif and Prashant, for this explanation. It was nice to see how your journey went, especially adding the last two certifications to it. And now we are coming to the end of the session. But before we close, I would like to give you some related SAP TechEd sessions. If you liked this session, I can recommend the ones which are just mentioned on the slide. And a second recommendation we would like to give you is also checking out the Learning Hub to see what additional skills and certifications can be added to your professionals. And with that, again, a big thank you to Patif and Prashant from TCS to join me in this session. Thank you very much. And with this, we can close and enjoy other TechEd sessions in 2020. Thank you very much.
Thank you.